What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is January the 26th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some hot movers and what big money is focusing on today. Before we get into any of that though, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, we just had durable goods came in at 5.3 versus a forecast of 1.1. Another big data point that's coming out later today is going to be the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Previous was negative 10.9, forecast is negative 6. So definitely a little bit of an improvement, still meant to be somewhat negative. That's coming out shortly after the bell. Aside from that though, I was rather surprised to see that the futures are kind of mixed, but mostly leaning towards green. So Dow is up 0.05, S&P exactly flat, NASDAQ down 0.15. So nothing too significant. One thing that did pop up over the weekend was Trump threatening a 100% tariff on Canada. In the past, that usually prompted a sell-off. So I think the market right now is starting to see what Trump does. He threatens, market sells off, he pulls to the threat, and the market goes higher than what it originally was. So I think the market's just cutting out the middle part now, cutting off the sell-off, and just buying. So we'll have to wait and see if that is actually the case or not. But currently, the fear and greed index is under the neutral category, meaning people's appetite for risk is somewhat on the table. Getting right to it, SoFi, they're down slightly, nothing really for news today, no SEC filings. They do have their earnings at the end of the week, so there might be a certain level of FOMO that eventually does kick in, but most likely not really that much today. Shorts are increasing, 69,000 shares during the pre-market, 9.38% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 116 million shares overall are being shorted, with it at 25.75 during the pre-market. It is trading between this S1 and this S2. So for those of you that want to day trade or get a good deal or dollar cost average, 25.59. That's going to be the key support level for today. Flip side, 25.92 is going to be the next strong target. And realistically, I could actually see both of them being touched. So the market generally, from what we can see, wants to go green. So that's fair to assume that the 25.92 potentially might be on the table. But at the same time, usually when tariff-related negative news does come out, there is a quick and swift sell-off that usually does trigger a lot of stop losses. So similarly, in the first hour, might see that 25.59, but most likely it'll recover to that 25.92. But of course, my crystal ball is sometimes wrong, so you could do your own due diligence, of course. NIO, as per usual, is just getting hit, which is rather unfortunate. Although over the weekend, there really hasn't been that much in crazy catalysts to really push NIO higher. So it's down 1.29%. Shorts aren't really, now they're returning about 696,000. So definitely shows that if you kind of rule it all out, institutions are the culprit on why NIO is going down, because shorts returning 696,000, that usually does mean that they are buying the stock. So in general, today seems like an interesting day. 8.18% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 166 million shares overall are being shorted, with it at 459. It is trading between this S2 and this S3. So my apologies, actually. It is trading between this pivot and this S1. It's early. So 458 is going to be that key support. You really want to watch for that to hold. If not, 448 will be the following one. Last time NIO was selling off, it did bounce off of this S2. So we do know that is diamond support. So just kind of watch for that. If we do, for whatever reason, see a nice recovery, 474 and 490 are going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Moving on, CoreWeave. They are up almost about 9% because of NVDA investing $2 billion in them at a price of $87.20. Normally, whenever news like this does drop and they actually put down a purchase price, usually the stock price kind of gravitates towards that. But anything involving NVIDIA just causes FOMO. So that is why we are up roughly about 9%. Aside from that, shorts are increasing about 48,000 shares. 18.78% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 47.8 million shares overall being shorted. With it at 100 and change, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 102.96 is going to be the next strong target, and then 92 is going to be the next strong support. So of course, this R2 is going to be off the table for today. So just watch for this R3 to be kind of broken for the most part, if we're going to see a nice continued push higher. Aside from that, moving on, ticker is CRML. So with all the geopolitical issues kind of surrounding the States, this stock's been getting a lot of good attention, no different than what happened back in October. But nothing really as far as news today or any SEC filings. Shorts are increasing about 221,000 shares. 33.6% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 17.4 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts have actually been very reactive to the stock price lately and trying to slow it, but clearly to no avail. But still, in all the cases, all the stocks I've kind of brought up, shorts are somewhat active. Right now though, with a 2150, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. Because of the recent price action, I actually am looking at the 1 week chart. So these are extremely strong support and resistance points, but 2564, that most likely is going to be the next strong target. Might not be hit today, but potentially that is where it will be hitting in the next couple of trading days. So just watch for that. It could be a pretty good swing trade on a side note from here until there. So just, again, add that to your watch list. And then last but not least, tickers BNAI. So they went up 90% on Friday, and then currently they're up 254% on during the pre-market. During the overnight trading though, quickly popping over here for a second. So BNAI, this stock has been absolutely on fire. So BNAI, during the overnight trading, it did hit, I believe it was like 350 something percent. Yeah, 340. It was kind of hovering around that 334 for a while. So this stock wasn't getting that much crazy volume during the overnight trading, but it was up 300 something percent. Crazy stuff. Aside from that, the main reason why they are moving higher is because of this right over here. So it looks like they jumped more than 200% because of their Africa deal. AI deal is still in focus, supposedly. And so, again, the market seems to really like that. Prior to the hype, though, or I guess even factoring it in, market cap is only 73.9 million, so rather on the low end. So this is why you're seeing some crazy price action. Regarding shorts, they are increasing about 21,000 shares. 40.7% of the free float is being shorted. Works to be 1.21 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average, rather on the high end. This is an annual rate, not a daily rate, but 590.39%. So definitely some interesting stuff. Let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Is there any other kind of stocks that you're paying attention to that's worthwhile to kind of research or look up? If so, throw some tickers in the description below. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.